Okay, today I wanted to take an opportunity to share a recent I recently wanted to try and collect a bit more like neo kaiju or and a few brands that I was looking into was like Sofubi Pepo, as you can see obviously, and 123 Toys, and so cute, and and I wanted to just kind of share how I felt about these toys and what I would recommend and just share how it is because the main purpose of me doing these sort of videos is first of all like you can't like someone when you just look at it in pictures you can't really tell how it looks in the full 360, how the details look, and what to expect and what to look out for, right? And then this time around, I actually have a really good reason to do it because I found that the quality of the vinyl is not as good. It's much worse than like standard self vinyl that I usually been used to collecting and receiving. So I wanted to take an opportunity to just kind of share that out and have you guys be a bit more aware of it before you guys decide to pull the trigger on some things like these. To be honest, I think it's the same thing across the board with the brand. What I found, what was really noticeable for me was when I actually got this guy in, and that my first impression of this was that my first thought was like, this is really light and feels really cheap. And I didn't, and I wanted to take this opportunity to kind of show you guys how that is because but I couldn't really do it in like a video format. I guess I got a scale. We have a scale at home. I didn't just buy it for this purposes only. As you guys can see, it's quite used. We use it to like weigh food for our hedgehog, and mostly now my fiance and soon to be wife used to use it for like counting. I think macros and stuff. I don't know. She's really into that stuff. So but yeah, now I get to use this and try and weigh how much this weighs. Because and the thing is, I'm filming by myself, so I have a hard time trying to show you how it is. So I just took pictures of me, of the outputs. But I'll do it now. So what I wanted to do is show you how much this weighs compared to something of the same size, also made from soft vinyl. Which our example today would be like the meteoric. This is, you guys can see, same size, same height, and then this guy has a bit longer tail, but around the same kind of like size that you expect. So you would expect the weight to be like same or very similar, but you'll be really surprised. I weighed this guy in. We zeroed it out. We're in grams. This guy is 139.2 grams. I guess you guys can't see. I don't know if it's possible for you to like, because I can't lift this up and then show you, because then that wouldn't make sense. And then this one, the L gap, is 258.5 grams. And that's like, how much is that? That's like 130 something grams or 20, 30 something grams of difference and just how much the vinyl weighs. So it was very, very distinct when I received it in person, the quality of that vinyl. And what that means in the end is that this becomes, it feels very brittle and squishy. And my main concern with this is actually the ear, where the ear is just, it feels just like paper. Very paper thin, very brittle. You can just squish it all the way through. And sometimes I worry that, you can just take a pin and just poke it right through and it will just poke right through. That's how it feels. And it's a bit disappointing because I actually got this guy, the meteorite or whatever he's called before this drill guy, and he was fine. He was fine. There's a bit stark differences between these two. I think perhaps the way it was designed and the sculpt made it so that these sort of, I think the vinyl quality should be the same, but it's not as noticeable because of the way it's designed. Yeah, that's the only way I can maybe think of why it's so different. This is markedly like not as light. I didn't actually try to weigh this guy. He would be, oh whoops, I gotta let it zero out. I'm gonna tear it up. He's 167, so much a bit better and so like markedly more sturdy, than the other guy. And the only place that you can feel like it's a little bit cheap is with the bottom of its feet, where you can just kind of push it in and it's quite squishy there. Other parts of the body are okay, but yeah, I don't know. It's a bit disappointing, to say the least. And then the other thing I wanted to point out with regards to the sculpt itself is I feel like it's a bit more lazy, compared to this guy. They put a lot of effort, into designing this guy. This guy is a bit less. Um, Number one, like super easy. Like the best, example I feel would be the transition from the leg to the feet, where you would expect, sort of the same kind of like scale or skinish kind of, transition into the foot, but and a bit of more of a, this just feels like a very standard, sculpt for a foot for a monster, and they just kind of like put it on and that's it. Didn't bother really to sculpt it and try and make it, fit more cohesively with the sculpt itself, as a whole. And at first you would think, oh, maybe he just doesn't know how to do feet, which maybe, but if you see in the first, his first sculpt, the meteorite, the foot transitions quite well. It's not very markedly very cartoony. Like you can tell, it's just a standard foot, and then they made efforts to mold it in and transition it in, but it's there. They made an effort. It's fully transitioned in. It's got the same kind of sculpt and textures, and it's, markedly very, very thought out, and you took a lot of time into, and this is just that, and that's a big thing for me. I just felt like that was not, you know. I don't know if it's like I get like it's popular and you want to like put out all the things and keep up with the hype, but I don't know, like maybe he had deadlines or something. I don't know, man. It's just, yeah. But I still really like the design of the toy, and aesthetically it fits in as a series. So, it's really up to you, because I'm not here to say do or don't do something. For me, I actually am okay with how it is. It's just a bit disappointing, and I will probably have to watch out a bit more, for their future releases, to be a bit more considerate of different factors, and look at the sculpt a bit more fully and compare it a bit more before deciding to pull the trigger on his stuff. But I'll still keep this guy because I really like how it looks. The sculpt and design work is still really good. That doesn't detract from his method of doing the sprays in a really cool way, and having the sculpt, look very nice and very like vintage feeling. I really like that, and how it really fits very cohesively with his line. The other thing I wanted to talk about is the smaller ones, these smaller boys here, and, I think that his sculpt and his abilities, he does a lot of very good detailed work, and I feel like it's a bit too dense in these smaller versions of these guys. So I think that his works actually look best when it's a bit bigger and a larger size. It's pretty much putting him in too much detail. The metaphor I can think about, or analogy I can think of, is like putting too much detail on a small canvas. So if you gave them a bigger canvas, it makes more sense and it fits more cohesively. And that's what I would have to say about his work in smaller sculpts. It looks awesome in these guys. These, it feels like a bit more, a bit too busy, would be what I would say. But I really love the what is it? The articulation design here, where like they put joints in like really cool places, so you can do a lot of fun things there. There's a joint here, there's a joint here in the tentacles, and then the foot is also jointed in a weird way where it's like on the side. I think that's super fun and really innovative. I don't know if it's innovative because I actually don't know too much about like neo kaijus or like old kaijus, Toho kaijus, and how they were sculpted. But for me, where I'm used to just standard things, this is really cool. So you gotta give credit where credit is due. This is super cool. Overall, I really love the design and the aesthetics of the toys. And the paint app is actually really fitting, for what it is. So the overall cohesiveness, is really there. It's just sometimes it feels like there's some parts like this that I don't understand what happened, and then the quality of the vinyl is another factor to consider if you're interested in picking one up. And that's all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think or what you guys would like to see more. Yeah, thanks. Take care. Bye bye.